Barkevisser, the modern day mystic, as she helps you find your personal intuitive uniqueness and universal alignment for a more meaningful life. You're listening to The Modern Day Mystic with your host, Cynthia Barkevisser.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. This is Cynthia Barkevisser, your modern day mystic. Hope you had a really good weekend and would love to hear how everyone is doing. Today's topic is about on purpose agreements. And I think it's really fascinating because on purpose agreements is what is it that you want to go ahead and shift up so that you can stay on your spiritual path, the main road of the spiritual path instead of wandering and getting knocked around from side to side. And in order to do that, we actually have to break some agreements in order to make the agreements. So this has been coming up a whole lot this past week, so I'd love to talk about it. I will be taking readings and calls throughout the show. So if you'd like to chime on in or get a reading, please give me a call. The phone number is 657 383 0608, and just press 1 if you want to talk with me. If not, please feel free to hang out in the chat room, and you're more than welcome to ask your question there, and I'll respond once it pops up onto my screen. All right? So this past has been pretty amazing in that everyone has pretty much in sync, at least in with, that they realize that things are not working with them for them right now, and so they're ready to switch things up. It was funny. One of them happens to be one of my really good friends. Her name is Jamie. She went on vacation, and the vacation was lovely and sweet, and it was everything that she had hoped it would be. But I said, "So how was it?" And you could see that she was giving a lot of thought to how she was going to respond. And she says, the vacation was great, but I'm so tired of eating out. I'm so tired of feeling unhealthy. I'm so tired of feeling bloated that I'm ready to get back on purpose. Those were not her exact words, but it was on track so that I can feel better with my food. And so we had a conversation about that, and it was really nice and funny. And so following day, I happened to be with her sister, and for something completely different, and she just got her kitchen remodeled. And so I asked her, "Hey, how's everything going with your kitchen remodel?" And of course, she showed me her kitchen, and it's beautiful. And I said, "Was it right?" And she gave this question a lot of thought, and she says, "It's totally worth it. I'm super happy. However, I'm really excited to make home cooked food." She says, "I'm so tired of eating out. I'm totally over processed food. I can't wait to just be quiet, be home, and have a nice dinner and be able to eat leftovers from my kitchen instead of leftovers from the styrofoam box." So I know they hadn't talked to each other. They were two completely different questions. And here they are in sync, both back on purpose and ready to do their thing. The other thing that has happened is that I am a firm believer of accountability partners, which is a whole other different topic. If you don't have an accountability partner, please give me a call and let's talk about it. I firmly believe in it. Everybody needs a support system, and if you don't feel like your immediate group or your natural group is your support system on something very specific, get an accountability partner. I have an accountability partner for work. I have an accountability partner for exercise. It helps me with accountability with my day-to-day things. So it's an amazing thing because you get called on your crap, and it makes it a lot simpler to, as you're hearing your story about why you didn't do something or why didn't things turn out, it makes it a lot easier to go, holy cow, I'm feeding her a line, and I was actually believing it until it came out my mouth. And then it helps you, accountability partners help you stay true to yourself. And, of course, that's an on-purpose thing, right? So, and I also have accountability partner for leadership. I belong to this amazing leadership group, 20 very special people who meet every 6 weeks, and we spend an intense day talking about life and how we can be better, how we can be better people, and how we can better serve our families and our communities. So really, totally sidetracked, which is not on purpose, and yet it is on purpose because it has to do with accountability and being on purpose. Again, I'm going to go ahead and go into more, but feel free to give me a call at 657-383-0608 and press 1 if you want to chat with me about being on purpose, about living your intuitive life practically, or, something even mundane, or how to help you. So what I will do is I would like to speak with Gigi from SoCal and see how I can help her out. So Gigi, how are you and how can I help you?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Was wondering if you're welcome. You could maybe pick up on either love and or career for me. Both of them are, I guess, new beginnings.
I like the way you said that. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah. So let me hook in really quick to your energy, and I like where you are right now. You're really giving your life a lot of thought, and not just thinking like daydreaming, but you're really giving it some deep thought, and you want to go beyond the day-to-day. So you're thinking about loving deeply for a very long time, and you're thinking about, a career that's just not a 9 to 5. It's kind of like, hey, let's have some purpose in it. So it's actually a perfect day to talk about being on purpose, right?
Yes.
So here's what's going on. I love you. You tend to get into the details of things, and so what happens is that I get tripped up on the details because I don't like details, which is weird for a Virgo. But for you, you get tripped up in the details because you get invested in the details instead of going up and looking at the bigger picture and letting some of the details go by the wayside. Okay? Does that make sense when I say that?
Well, what did you say about a Virgo? I'm not a Virgo.
Oh no, I'm a Virgo. I said I get tripped up. I get tripped up because I don't like details, which is weird for a Virgo. But for you, right? For you get tripped up. I wouldn't say tripped up, but you get invested in the details, which makes it hard to back up and look at the big picture. Does that make sense?
Actually, yes and no. I mean, I do have a little bit of both. I do, kind of hunker down when I really need to know something, so I do get invested in the details. But I'm also one of these people that has big ideas, and I see the big picture as well. And then there's a time for both of them, but they're usually separate.
Right.
Like when I'm in the beginning phases, it's all about the big idea, and then all of a sudden I say, okay, now I want to know more.
Right. So if I'm following you, what you're saying to me is, hey, here's my big ideas for career and love, and now can you help me with the details? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about how you're in love. I call it like legacy, right? Where you're into thinking about long-term love, big love as in it doesn't have to be so like, endless love with, you and I are pretty much the same age, so I can talk about Brooke Shields and the endless love and all that other stuff. But you're not like that anymore. You're in the big love where it is, you have your life, your partner can have their life, and that you, from these full lives, you create this atmosphere within love. Make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So now, I'm not disagreeing with you about our big picture, but here's where I'm talking about the details. So what that means is, because this is a space, and it's actually a new space for you, you've been thinking about it, but now you're actually feeling it, that it's time to get rid of some of the nitty-gritty that you're looking for in your. So what I'm hearing is that even though you're very open, you have some quirks about a way somebody needs to look in order for you to be with them. Does that make sense when I say that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're willing, so just follow me on this one. If you're willing to, go to the place where it's like that part doesn't matter. I trust that that the universe is going to give me the absolute perfect person, and then open your eyes to what will happen is that you will find that it is your type. You just had to be willing to open up those parameters. Make sense when I say that?
Yeah, you're talking to a very visual-oriented person.
I know. So here's the thing. Like I'll tell you what the reason I started laughing is that it's like you don't really like people who like bald and kind of like out of shape. Do you know what I'm saying? A little bit slovenly. Those are not your people. Now, because you're visual, what you can say is envision the person, envision a happy look on their face, and go, it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like this picture. And then what'll happen is that your view will change, but the person that comes in will be the person that you've been wanting visually. I know it's a hard thing to say. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like me wanting chocolate chip ice cream so much that I can't find anybody with the Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream, that I can't get past it, and I go from store to store to store to store, even though there's 5 cases of different kinds of ice cream. I want Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream. Then when I finally say, you know what, it's okay if I just want ice cream. I just want this because it's going to make me happy. And lo and behold, I'm going to go into some crazy store and there's Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream. That's the.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's where it is on love. So just open it up and know that you're going to get it, because it opens it up, you'll be able to attract in a different way. The second thing that has to do with career is, are you thinking about changing jobs?
I'm thinking about taking an idea and creating a business out of it.
Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. It's a great thing. I would recommend that you stay in this idea phase for just a little bit longer. Take that idea and you need to just take that just a little bit to give you the boost you need to see that you've got people around you that are in the same space, and that's what's actually going to stimulate you to go to the next place. So don't switch your job. Don't keep that all good. Add this one thing, a mastermind group or a meetup group, if you know what meetup is, and allow that to just percolate just a little bit longer. I'd say if you're diligent and stay open and just stay in the conversation and brainstorming, it's going to be great. And then you go to the next phase.
Do you see me partnering with anyone? Because there is someone who we've been talking about this back and forth.
Yes,
okay.
And you actually need to partner because that's a part of your
yes.
programming. Okay.
Yes.
Sound good?
Yes. You're awesome. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for calling. And
Perfect.
and please feel free to call again. Remember, people, I would love to speak with you. Just dial 657-383-0608. And the magic thing to do is to press the number 1. My next caller is Ivy from Vacaville. Very close to me. I'm really excited to talk to her. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Wait.
Good.
Do I know you?
Yes.
I love you so much. How the heck have you been?
So I was wondering, okay, so I'm in a relationship right now, and it's really good, healthy relationship, and a past former relationship person has kind of come into my life recently. And we've been, spending time together recently, and it's just been making me confused, and I just don't know what the purpose of this is, I guess, is what I'm looking for. I don't know if you can help me with that.
Well, you know what? You know how much I love you, right? I think you're an amazing person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, thank you.
And I will so for everyone else out there, here's the beautiful thing about Ivy. Ivy knows how to take 2 disparate bring them together into something fantastic and amazing. And what's important is that it's strength from one side, strength from another side, and then she builds that into something strong, which is why it's great that you do have a science background, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, this is why. So now, here are 2 disparate objects. You have a past relationship and you have a current relationship. You're in a place right now where you're building foundation, but you're not really what your foundation is, right? So you've got someone who's making you feel good, safe, secure, making you feel awesome and strong. Mm-hmm. And then and that's the person that's here. And then you have the person on the other side who is, steady, fantastic, but there's some things going on over on that side that is so many question marks that it's making you a little bit nervous, right?
Which one is the current one and which one is the former one?
The former one is the first one I talked about. Is the one that's making
Yeah.
you feel really good, comfortable, safe, like you're an amazing person. And I'm not saying that your current relationship, they're not making you feel like an amazing person, but their idea of what security and future is, your idea of security and future are not exactly the same and not meshing. And you're going to have to move over there in order to blend that in, and it's not going to be simple. There's going to be there's like going to be some growing pains while you're there. So this is why you have this duality happening. And I'll tell you this: because you can take two disparate things and bring them together, you can do one of two things. And I'm going to tell it, and I tell you stuff with love, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. No, give it to me straight.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is a place where you actually get to decide, and there's no bad choice. But what I can tell you is that if you decide to stay, right, and go to the old relationship and nurture that, what will happen is you're going to have a really good time. You're still going to feel like there's a growth spurt ahead of you, and that will be your lesson, right? Like, how can I have a relationship, have a personal growth spurt, feel like this person's boosting me, you know what I'm saying? And that I'm not going to be bound by this relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your lesson.
Right.
If you go over to the other one, your current relationship, or let's just say stay in your current relationship, that's going to involve a move, and it's going to involve a bunch of unknowns that you're really not feeling so great about. And the biggest unknown has nothing to do with your job. It actually has to do with how the family is going to treat you, and that's the problem. That's the problem that's going to. I won't say that it's going to trip you up, but that seems like the bigger looming problem. And that has to do with communication, and it has to do with vulnerability. So they both have to do with vulnerability, because with the old relationship, it's about, hey, I've got to be really honest and say I really care about you. This is the growth I need to do. It's going to feel like I'm not with you, but I am with you. And the other person is, hey, you really need to support me, and you really need me to be number one. I mean, I really need you to treat me like number one, and I really need you to back my play. And that's the part we're having an issue with. So they're both two tough ones. There's no bad response. And then, of course, option number 3 is actually really good, is that you can have an open relationship, and the person that will be happy is you.
So I can have my cake and eat it too.
Kind of, right? And then you got to get beyond that. It's not about them, that you're having the learning experience. And I'm saying this because I'm obligated to give you all options. So that's my thing. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to talk with you more offline. Know where I am. So come see me in Vallejo. In Benicia, or call me and let's work on this a little more one-on-one if you need it. But if you can figure out which one you want to work on, you're going to be successful. You know that because you're a badass. I don't know if I can say that on the show. There it is. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll call you. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you, Ivy. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Okay, I've got another caller coming in, Wendy, Sacramento. I love these locals. So, Wendy, how can I help
you? Hi, thank you. I downloaded my application into 2 companies recently. One of them is a major healthcare hospital chain, starting with the first word of Kaiser, and then also Golden One Credit Union. Will either one of them hire me?
That's a really good question. Here's what's going to happen. Kaiser is actually not a bad show or play, but it's going to take some time, and its time doesn't feel like it's something that you really have. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're kind of chomping at the bit. So if you can really, really wait it out, Kaiser will offer you a position. It's not going to be exactly as you want it to be, but you know what? If you want to make the change and you're willing to make some concessions for the short term, you're going to be fine. The other one about the credit union, there's a thing. You're going to get to the interview process, but there is can I just say that you tend to get a little bit freaked out during the interview process? Does that make sense when I say that? Or am I wrong?
Usually I do well. But it could happen that I might get nervous.
Okay. Let me tell you why I'm saying that is that once you said the credit union, my throat chakra closed up, and I feel like I'm not getting enough clean air in. So what that tells me is that it could be something as simple as you're interviewing the person who's interviewing you does not speak the same language as you do, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So
yes.
Have you ever done it where you talk to someone and you know they're speaking English, you're speaking English, and you guys are just not speaking the same language? So
yes.
what will happen is that you'll get the interview process. You're not going to feel like you're totally on your game because there's going to be some kind of weird inability to connect with that communication. Just know it's not anything personal. Okay? And then based on that, if you can keep your energy high, then it'll shift up. But if you have any kind of like, oh my God, I really crapped out on that, then what will happen is it's time to go get another interview because it's your energy after the interview that's going to sustain. Make sense?
Well, I don't know that they'd give me 2 interviews.
Oh no, here's what I meant. After your interview, if you can keep your energy up and go, well, you know what? I didn't knock it out of the ballpark, but I did the best. I did the best, and now I know that I'm leaving with the best energy. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Because you tend to lose your energy. It's easy to get discouraged, and you don't lift yourself up. You don't go all the way down, but you don't lift yourself up.
Okay. So how quickly, going for Kaiser, how quickly would they hire me?
It's just the response time is going to be a little bit more than expected. So here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that the process is slower than what you expect. So it would be something like a couple of weeks for you just to get the response, a couple of weeks in order for you to get the interview. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Do you have a job right now?
You know what? You're very psychic because, yes, ma'am, I do. I had a very good job with a major employer at a vision insurance company for 15 years, world class. My world turned upside down, fired me wrongfully on January the 3rd, 2014. I have a suit going. They're going to try to get some money for me, age discrimination and disability.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a rocky road. I did get hired at a well-known bank. The initials are WF. You see their ads on TV. There's a coach in a carriage.
Yeah, gotcha. I gotcha. It's okay. It's okay. I'm really not. I'm discreet when it comes to readings. I'm not discreet when it comes to we talk about all kinds of stuff. So here's the deal. The reason I was asking is because I have to tell you, you feel like you're seriously chomping at the bit, and that's a good thing. Being motivated is a good thing. However, there's a difference between being motivated and being on the other side of motivation, where I love to gamble. It's not a secret. I love to gamble, and there comes a time when you start going on a losing streak, and then you stay a little bit too long, and that's called the stink. I call the stink desperation. Some people call it that you're wearing the stink jacket. So what's happening right now is that you are almost to the point where you're jumping at the bit so much that it's almost like feeling like desperation, and you don't want that. You want to stay in confidence. Make sense? Which is why. Yes.
They're not happy with it. Was an abusive environment. I had to have emergency surgery in November, so I'm on a medical leave. And I've had a medical miracle with the ring finger on my right hand. 3 doctors said amputation, and I had a vision that I was going to be able to keep my finger. So they removed the chondroma tumor, and then they said, okay, good news, no cancer, we're going to do the reconstruction. And I'm going through occupational therapy. I'm wearing splints right now. So gradually I'm getting my range of motion back. So there'll be a point when my doctor says, I can't, we need to release you to go back to work, probably in about 6 to 8 weeks maybe. And I think they're just going to go through the motions and say adios to me. And so that's probably what you're picking up, and something about fate, because when I had my emergency with my fingers, that's right when Kaiser emailed me 5 times and they were interested, and I had to make a decision to save my finger.
Okay.
And
No. That's really good. You're doing really good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go to commercial soon, so I'm going to answer a couple of things, and then I'm going to go to break. What I'd like to know is that they're not going to actually just go through the motions, the WF coach and horse. But what is going to happen is that they are going to drag it out, and that's going to make you chomp at the bit more. And you're already at a place where you want to move on anyway. So what I would recommend is that you go ahead and start making the good intentions of having a very clean departure, okay? And then once that happens, you'll realize that Kaiser's slowness is actually for you to go ahead and recuperate, recover, and say what I call the long goodbye. So congratulations on saving your finger and your new beginnings. Please stay confident. You're in a really good place. You want to be on this side. You don't want to wear the stink jacket. You want to see that stink jacket and put it in the closet. All right? So we are now on our way to break. It's commercial time already. I cannot believe it. So for that, let me tell you, I am taking calls for the rest of the show. Please dial 657-383-0608 and press 1 if you want to talk with me. Otherwise, please hang out with the fabulous Tana Newberry in the chat room, and you can ask a question there if you'd like. Anyway, so have a great break with me. I will see you on the other side.
Are you ready to transform your life? Are you looking for love? Are you looking to advance your career, increase prosperity, or improve your health? Feng Shui can help. Feng Shui is the ancient Chinese art of enhancing your environment by creating a more positive energy flow to help you achieve your goals. Maria McCullough is the founder of Feng Shui by Maria and author of the popular newspaper column Everyday Feng Shui, currently in 3 publications. Trained by the Western School of Feng Shui, Maria has over 15 years of experience transforming the lives of people like you in the San Francisco Bay Area. For more information, to learn about upcoming classes, and to read testimonials, log on to her website at www.fengshuibymaria.com or call 925-586-1430 to schedule your personalized 2-hour introductory home or business consultation. You too can be a satisfied customer saying, "A Feng Shui visit from Maria helped me get the job I always wanted," or, "After a consultation from Maria, I found the love of my life." Be the change you want in your life. To set up your appointment, call 925-586-1430 today. Experience the magic of Angel Heart for You, nestled in the heart of beautiful downtown Benicia, California. Embrace the aroma of scented candles, essential oils, incense, and aromatherapy products as you wander the aisles of inspirational and metaphysical books and gifts. Enjoy the positive energy vibrating in this historical site where the well-known author Jack London was once a frequent visitor. If you're in need of a smile or a hug, Angel Heart for You is the place to visit. Do you have an intention or a wish to manifest? Experience the magic of our intention tree. Email us at angelheartforyourradiochannel@gmail.com and be included in our sacred intention tree ritual. Just write us your intention and we'll offer it up in fire along with those left in our store. Then offer them again to the beach and water in Benicia. May angels be with you in all your comings and goings. Love, Angel Heart for You.
And we're back. Happy Monday. This is Cynthia Varkevister, your modern day mystic. And today we're talking about on purpose agreement. If you'd like to call in and have a chat with me, get a quick read, please call me. I would love it. The phone number is 657-383-0608 and press 1. And that will magically get you on over to me. All right. So we just had some great calls, and I'd love to tie it back into what on purpose is. So if you remember back to Gigi from Southern California, what has happened with her, which was so beautiful, is that she's ready for new beginnings, and her agreement is that she has big love. She has huge love, and that's her on purpose agreement is to say, if I have really big love, there are certain things that I need to just nip away. I need to trim away. And there are small things. And she said she was a visual person, and I get it, I am too. But it's about having a vision and saying, you know what, this is just a placemat so that it keeps me excited. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. And this is what happens. That will help you with your on-purpose agreement. But the agreement you break is, hey, it doesn't have to look like that, and I don't have to have this exact person as my partner, right? The other one had to do with Little Miss Wendy. And Little Ms. Wendy was talking about she's going through some new changes, and how is she going to stay on purpose? And the thing for her that confidence is about being on purpose, that she's ready for new beginnings, she's ready for new challenges, and she's ready to just switch up her life. That tough part, or the agreement that she needs to break, is that the place where she was working, although it's no longer a match, is to just be detached with it. It was just an experience. It was not a lovely experience. I mean, I'll agree with that, but it was an experience, and an experience for her to learn so that she can move on to the next one. So the agreement that needs to be broken is, this was work. I learned something through work, and now I'm going to thank the teachers of that lesson so that I can move on. And then we have Ivy, who for the rest of her life, because this is the type of person she is that she can take two things and bring it together for something very strong. And it also means that sometimes you have to be a little socially unconventional in order to work within your personal parameters. But who's the judge, really? I'm not the person to judge. I like to think I'm not judgmental, but I am a human being. But I'm happy to talk a little bit more about that. But first, let me tell you that if you'd like to get a quick read, call in, chat, talk about agreements, please do so. 657-383-0608 and press 1. So, see, before I was taking the calls, we were talking about on-purpose agreements, accountability partners, how amazing they are. Happy to talk about that if anybody has questions about accountability partners. And just so you know, accountability partners can come from the strangest of places. I have a 9-year-old girl in my life who keeps me accountable with what is etiquette. I mean, it's crazy, and it's hilarious. She's 9, and yet she's got a sense of style that I have yet to possess. And so why not take advice from another human being, regardless of their age or size? Anyway, so we talked about accountability partners, and then I talked about Nikki and Jamie and food, the sisters, and now I wanted to talk about the agreements that we're making to stay on purpose, right? On purpose agreements. So an on purpose agreement is a greater agreement in order for you to stay on your spiritual path in the cleanest and smoothest possible way. Now, we are human beings, and we're meant to learn through experience. We are meant to learn through mistakes. And it sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true, right? We learn how to keep our balance after learning how to fall. We learn something is hot after getting a little bit burned, which reminds me of a Pink song, but it's off topic, but just so you know who I am. Get a little sense of the wackadoodle person that's your modern day mystic. So anyway, what has happened today is that I feel like people are starting to come, become in sync with who they are and really paying attention to not just their physical body, but their emotional body and their spiritual body, and they're starting to say, you know what, I'm happy with my life. I'm really blessed to be where I am, and now I want to do this. And so we're talking about being in sync. My accountability partner in leadership and I, without knowing it, we both made commitments to our health and our finances. She's an amazing person, and she believes in health and wellness through raw foods. And I believe in that as well. She's, like I said, she's incredible. I happen to like steak, and I happen to like my steak medium rare. So it's close to raw, but not quite raw. And, you know, and you all know I like my ice cream. So I'm not there yet to the raw food. But what she's been saying is that she has a lot of things going on in her life, and she has strayed away from raw food just a little bit. And she found that she was a little bit obsessive about her raw food, and it was affecting her physical look, which, you know, I didn't notice because she's just absolutely so gorgeous, but you know, she wasn't feeling so great, and so she went to the other side of balance, and now she's going to take a look at it again. So what's happening is that she's taking a look at her on-purpose agreement. Her on-purpose agreement has to do with health and well-being. She's a really lovely person, and she's so kind that when we talk on the phone, I am always the person that says that I need to go. So today I played a little trick, and I just kept chatting away. And then finally, after a while, I said, "You know what I'm doing?" And she said, "No." And I said, I'm letting you be the person to say I've got to get going." So it was my jokey joke way of saying, "You're so amazing. It's okay to say you've got to go." But anyway, her agreement, her on-purpose agreement, is to serve others so that they are at their optimal health. What she realized is that she had gotten so involved in all these amazing things that are happening in her life that she had strayed away from her on-purpose agreement. So she had to break some other agreements in order to go back to her on-purpose agreement. Now, check this out. One of her on-purpose things is that she says, "I'm going to go back to raw food and juicing." And her husband said, "I'm not ready yet." And she's so used to having a partner in so many things that she's okay with breaking the agreement and do everything together. And she is giving it a shot of doing this this current cleanse without him. Now they're doing, they're doing the picture together, but this is the one time that they're not going to be in sync. And her intention is that she becomes so in sync with herself that he will get back into sync with himself. And who knows, right? The other person is, and while she was doing that, my on-purpose thing has to do with, sorry, I just got a little distracted. The other thing has to do with my on-purpose, which is I would love to buy a piece of property. And I'm so excited about buying a piece of property, I have forgotten what my on-purpose thing is. What's my reason for buying this piece of property? How is it going to serve me? And so now I need to back up, and my agreement is a little bit more karmic in that I grew up in a family where instant gratification was king, and so savings was not as big of a deal. So it's about holding on to the right timing for the finances, not for the finances because I'm set and ready to go, but for the right house instead of just going woohoo. I'm going for this. So there you have it. I do have an online question, and it has to do with health. It says, due to a health issue, I left my full-time job, and now that I have mostly recovered, I really want to work on my passions instead of going back to corporate world. Unfortunately, the money is not coming in yet, and it's put a stress on my family. What's the advice? So for this person, what I'm feeling is that your heart is in a really big shift right now. It's in a really big change, and that you're not really that far away from getting the money that you want, doing the work that you really want to do. The tough part is that it's still a little bit down the line. I don't see it happening anytime before the summer. So we're talking about a few months of this part not happening. So two things need to happen. One is to have a very serious talk with your family and say, okay, so this is my passion and this is my number one. But I do love my family so much. What is it that will make you feel good? And then come to an agreement. I do see a very small, short time temp job. No, temp is not a job. I would say it's a temp to you, but it's not listed as a temp job, so it's a part-time job, and it will actually help you out with your stress as well, because there's a part of you that's putting a whole lot of pressure on making money right away and making things work a little bit faster than the universe will allow. So if you were to have this very short-term temporary project in which you know that you're going to get paid, it alleviates the stress and you can get back to the joy of doing the thing. It's not going to be for a very long time, and then you can go ahead and move on to the next thing. So I believe, and I believe that it doesn't have to be a very challenging transition. It could be a very loving and wonderful thing. So Ellie needs to talk. Thank you so much for the online chat. If you'd like to, you're more than welcome to ask your question by the chat room as well, or you're more than welcome to give me a call. The phone number is 657-383-0608, and then press 1 if you want to talk with me. I'm happy to give a quick read or to chat about being on purpose. Being on purpose is such a huge topic. And what I can do is I can just go ahead and break it down to something very quick, and we can go ahead and talk about exercises around it. So in my class that I had last week, I don't know if you were there if you were with me last week, I was all set and ready to go to do the intuitive feng shui and talk about placements of items to the energy in your house, so that you can go ahead and shift seamlessly, and that your environment shift with you. Right? It's a fabulous art, and it's very very passive. So just by placing one thing, it's like you're getting fed without even needing to open up the fridge. But anyway, to go on, what had happened is that here I had a couple of people. Everyone else had called in sick or had a work commitment, and so I ended up with a very small class, and that is absolutely fine. In this small class, we had two people who were not in alignment with their energy. So their physical energy did not match that of their emotional, spiritual energy, and they knew that they needed to be in alignment in order to shift. And so this is what I recommend. If you find that you know that you're not in agreement with your on-purpose task, and trust me, a lot of us are, then the meditation is not about getting down and getting down into the nitty-gritty. This is the one time it's all about expansion. So my recommendation for this, in order to match the bigger energy or the faster energy, depending on how it feels for you, is to say, okay, here's my on-purpose agreement. This agreement, for me personally, is to be of service. I love helping people out. I love hearing the shift. I loved hearing Amy's voice when I told her about open relationship, and she giggled, and you knew that some piece of her heart got a little bit of relief, because she is just a little bit more unique than the rest of us when it comes to love and passion. But so that's my on-purpose thing. However, I just told you I want to buy some property. There's all these other things that happen, and it's easy to get off purpose. So get back to on purpose. And getting on purpose is as simple as finding out what is your truth for today. So you'll find out as you find your truth for today, you'll see that there's a theme, and then you'll find out that this is your on-purpose truth. And that's for those of us who are feeling like you're not on track with what your purpose is in life. And there's, welcome to being a human being. So you can do this by having a talk with someone, or you can do it by journaling. but what you want to do is you want to get to that place and go, okay, this is where the shift needs to be. I'm a talker, if you haven't already noticed. So I always suggest going and having a talk with someone, because as you go through your stream of consciousness, you'll hear what the truth is, and you'll hear what the line of bullcrap you've been giving yourself, and you're like, whoo, I can't believe I've been saying that. So from there, what you want to do is get into a space that you feel, in space I mean environment, into a room that you feel very comfortable in, and you actually have some space. Now, there is a woman that I know that lived in a very tiny studio apartment in San Francisco, and she would go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet, light a candle, open up the windows so that she has the air going through, and this was her personal space, and it felt spacious to her. So whatever feels spacious to you, I invite you to go there. From that point, what I'd like you to do is get very comfortable and think about alignment. Just get super rooted so that your feet are on the floor, that you are that you can feel your bones resting one on top of the other, and that's specifically towards the spine. As you do this and you're breathing, what I'd like you to do is just imagine yourself expanding, feeling that energy of who you are beyond your physical, and just expanding that energy. And then hold that energy as if it was a container, not like you're full of energy inside a bubble, which is a beautiful thing. This is a specific meditation in which you have pushed out to your outer limits, and now you are in a container. Once you can feel the edges of the container, then invite the energy of the universe, the faster energy, the bigger energy, so to speak. Just have that come on in and let it download through you and fill up in that container. What will happen is that you'll realize that as it's filling up, that the container will on its own expand out, and it will become bigger and bigger, and go beyond. And here's the beauty of it: as you're witnessing this and in feeling and visualizing this expansion, what's really happening is your energy is shifting up and becoming in sync with your spiritual energy, and it'll be easier for you to stay on purpose. So for me, after this, I'm going to go ahead and do that meditation. I will expand my container, and then I will go back and say, okay, I'm looking for the properties that will help me be of service to my people. And guess what? I can already tell you that it's not going to be a getaway home. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, and that's a good thing. I can go ahead and take a look. Okay, so I'd love to talk to us about other part about being on purpose, finding out what the heck is so incredibly happy. Right? When we are incredibly happy, obviously we're on purpose, and it's the joy of being on purpose that inspires others to be on purpose as well, or just inspires people to do something different. So one of the things that I like to do that I haven't had to talk about is to channel in the fifth dimension. And fifth dimension is energy type, and it comes from the universe. It moves on through. In the fifth dimension, there's no past and there's no future. There just is now, and it's making the shift now. That is the fifth dimension. So the thing that I like about it so much is that it is me. It is information. If you ever had a reading with me, you know that I like to be very. I am very aware of your time and finance, meaning that if you're here for an hour reading, I make sure that you get an hour reading, and that we don't chit chat until we get all our stuff out the way, right? And so that's exactly how fifth dimension is. They give you the information, and then they move on. I had at one point during a session, because these are usually done in groups, is that I did I answered 26. No, I apologize. I answered 19 questions in 26 minutes. So, and everybody seemed to be pretty happy with it. why am I saying this? Is because when I do Fifth Dimension, as well as doing any other kind of readings, I'm on purpose. I'm doing it in a way that is incredibly unique, and it makes me happy, and then everything else falls in alignment. So my question to you is, are you doing what's making you happy? Um, if not, please give me a call. It's one of the things that I love to do is to help you work with what that makes you unique and put it in a practical way so that you can use it daily instead of hiding. Like, oh, I'm really good with the lottery numbers, but I don't play the lottery numbers, which, by the way, I think is crazy. So, but those are the things that I do. I'm happy to help you with that, help you with your on purpose. Another thing is that if you catch me on Fridays, I do Modern Day Mystic and I talk about relationships. And the thing about that is we talk about your unique way that you have your dialogue, your intuitive dialogue. And the goal is that in a relationship, the other person has a unique dialogue. And the trick is to find a way that you can listen to their dialogue, interpret it, and speak their dialogue, but keep your message clean and clear. And it's fun because what happens is then it's not just about the other person, it's about you. So it's kind of like how I was helping Ivy out. Ivy has come to me a couple of times. We talk about certain things, but really it has to do with listening and getting that person to understand, hey, this is how this person operates, how they talk, and now let's talk about your specialness and how can you communicate within their parameters without really losing you. Now, the best part about that is that I can have couples come in. I have mothers and daughters coming in to talk about this so that they can express themselves in a certain way. I'm actually going to go visit a family this weekend. They have a daughter who has been away for a very long time, and she's coming back with a fiance, and they're very nervous, and they want to be so welcoming. So what I'm doing is that I'm coming in for a relationship reading, one with just the smaller family, and then talking about how we can open it up so that it's not an intervention or us versus the the estranged daughter and the fiance, but hey, we're a family. Let's have a fun way to reintroduce our family dynamics to each other, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's super exciting to me because this is how I'm completely of service. The other things is that when you're on purpose, you'll find that things come to you much more easily. What had happened with the one person that came to class and actually ultimately switched up the intuitive feng shui to the on purpose class is that her father had recently passed, like less than a week, and she was a little bit numb and feeling completely stagnant because everything was swimming around in her head, all these thoughts, and even a bit more so were all these feelings. And so what we got to do is that we got to sit down with her biggest fear, and it was just in a matter of an hour. We got to sit down with her biggest fear and have her really take a look at it. So it brought the fear down in size to a realistic size. And then what happened is from that realistic size, we talked about all the gifts she had and how she could go ahead and switch up that fear and turn it into an ally or a tool. And she left so grateful because she went from being confused and feeling pretty much alone and isolated to feeling like she was an active part in her world and her community, and as a beacon of light to the other people in her family that were that are grieving, which really shifted her up. So there are so many ways that I can help you out. I also, every fourth Monday, I am at Angel Light Books, and I do the Fifth Dimension group sessions. Please feel free to call in or check out my website for more information. That is www.moderndaymystic.com. There's actually a dash in there, so it's modernday-mystic.com. Or check it out on Facebook to see where I am. There are so many ways that I can help you, but even more beautifully, there are so many ways that you get to shine light on others and be an inspiration as as we are all meant to be. I mean, that's the beauty of being a human being, because there aren't any other species out there that can actually do that. So how lucky are we to be in this space and time right now in our bodies, no matter how our bodies may be, whether they're optimal or a little bit overweight or a little bit achy. You're in an amazing place. You're in an amazing place. How lucky are we? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you that that I will be here on Friday. We will be talking about relationships. I welcome you to call in at that time as well. Please feel free to text me or email me. I do have the meditations that I've been talking about on CD, and I also have them on MP3. So I can either send them out to you, that would be a gift from me to you, or I can send them out by snail mail. And hopefully that will help you bring a little bit of calmness and relief so that you can get back to your on purpose message in this day and week. Let's see. I will also be at Angel Heart for You. There's going to be a fair coming up at Angel Heart for You in Benicia. It is so much fun. It's kind of like speed dating, 15-minute readings. There are a bunch of us that will be there from the Angel Heart for You radio station and radio channel. And you go in, it's 15 minutes, someone rings the bell, you sit down, you get your 15-minute reading, someone rings the bell, get on up. And if you liked it, you hug. If not, you thank, and you move on to the next reading. And there's also there will be a lot of jewelry, stones there. It's an amazing thing and a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this time with me. I am grateful every moment I am on the air to share myself with you. So incredibly lucky. Thank you very much. I want you to know that there is more than one show. We have Linda Grindell coming up on Tuesdays. She's a great and funny lady as well as a pretty gifted medium. We have Cher, who is a shaman on Wednesdays with such healing energy. It's always a pleasure to get around her. And then, of course, we have amazing Miranda and her angelic ways on Fridays. And then I follow her on Friday afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Again, I'm really grateful for Ivy and Wendy and Gigi from Southern California for the phone calls and their for sharing with me. It was so fun to talk with them. Remember, you can find me Mondays and Fridays here at Angel Heart View Radio Channel, as well as on Facebook, which is Facebook at Cynthia Varkevisser, or at my website, which is www.moderndaymystic.com. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another empowering show. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday and Friday to hear our live shows. Learn more about our live shows at www.angelheartforyouradio.com and keep tuning in to the Angel Heart for You radio channel.